Hi everyone, welcome to Mail Something Pretty. I am Christine Josty and I want to show you how to make these fun wave birthday cards. I actually saw them or something similar in the catalog and I loved it. So here's the card. Hopefully there's not a glare. And I loved it. So I saw that it used the golded gilding. I think that's what it's called. And so I had the stamp set and I said, okay, so I ordered that stuff and I went to go make it. It's going to be a club project. And I figured out that they used the glue and let it dry to then put the gold on it. And so that wasn't really ideal for club because we had to let it sit and dry and get tacky. So I kind of came up with, you can kind of see it's pretty similar. I will plan to still do a video on this so you can see how to use, there's a couple different ways of using that, and so one of them is with the Tombow glue. So I will do a video on that, but this is kind of my take on it. It's slightly different, but still pretty effective. I think it's beautiful. And so let's get to it. Let me show you what I did. So I used a Stamparatus. I know it has been retired, very sadly, but for this particular block, stamp rather, it's quite large. And so they do sell a block. I actually forget which letter it is. So let me just look it up real quick if I can find it. Here we go, blocks. So it's the definitely the big one, F, which is huge. E, I'm not sure. I'd have to measure, let's see, 4 by 7. Let's see how big this is. Yeah, no. So you have to use the biggest one. It has to be F, the largest block, if you don't have a Stamparatus. But I love this. I think it's beautiful. So it's definitely worth getting. So this is the stamp set and the dies. It's called Waves of Inspiration. And they have dies. You'll see they have waves and a couple different labels and clouds and birds and so forth. So I always put the stamp set actually under my plate here because it just makes it level. It's easier to ink up. And I have some of the prep work already done, but I just want to show you. I actually put some paper down and I inked it and stamped it. So now I know that I can just put my paper right on top of there and it will cover my whole paper. So this is Misty Moonlight. It's a returning color. I'm not inking the whole thing because you can see I don't need that part. It is a color that came back that we are all very excited about. It's a great blue. So press down on that and you get, oh, I actually would like that a little bit darker. So that's the beauty of this, and I hope Stampin' Up! Brings it back or something similar because it's a great tool. There you go, so it's darker. So you get that nice impression. So I'm just going to put that aside for a minute. Put that aside. And the next step, this is what they call an avid card, especially with that gold that we're not doing, but it's still a lot of steps. I'm going to use my blending brush. I have a scrap piece of paper. You can see that I've already made a whole bunch. What size was this? In case you're wondering. It's 3.5 by 4.5. And I cut, actually that's the same size, but I'm actually going to turn it that way. And it doesn't matter because it's the same width and that's what I want, but I'll show you why in a second while I did that. So this is boho blue. So it's a little bit of a lighter blue. We're actually going to get 3 different blues for our waves. So I'm going to start off on the scrap, and I usually do that so you don't get, you can kind of see some of the blotches. And for this particular, this one's like drying out. It doesn't matter if I got a blotch because we're actually just kind of cut a thin wave off of it. But generally, when I use my sponge brush, I start on the scrap and then work upwards in a circular motion. I'm going to actually be doing a class on this that I'll give you a whole bunch of different techniques on how to use the blending brushes. All right, so it is a little splotchy and that's fine because I kind of rushed it, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to cut it out. All right, so in with the dies. Like I said, you get 2 different waves. So I actually wish they had 3. I wish they had a wave that would cut this stamp one out, but they don't. So you have to use scissors. See it, if I cut it out, it's all, you'll see in a second, it's all thin. So I've actually never, I'll have to do that. I'll have to see what it looks like because you get a little texture in there, but I wish they had one that just cut the wave out, but you can do that with scissors. So I'm going to cut this out, and what that's going to become is like that. And I should have poked up my pieces and I didn't. There's a couple pieces in here. Try to do that before I film. These come up pretty easy. So hopefully you can see there's different shading. There's this one I did a little darker. So if I wanted, I could actually do it this way too. If you want it a little darker on the bottom, you can even do it after the fact, but I just wanted you to see. So there's different shading from that. Okay, so that will be turned into that. And then the second one, like I said, there's 2 and they're like offset from each other. I cut out of Night of Navy paper. So that's our 3rd blue for the waves. And just get these guys out. Like I said, those come out pretty easy. Okay, so what I did, let's put this here because we're going to use a little glue just to make it a little easier on myself. And again, these are longer than they need to be because they're going to go on top of the paper. But I just found it easier rather than having them exactly and trying to glue them down. It was a little easier to work with when they were longer, and I'm just going to cut them. But what also was helpful is I tucked, and it doesn't matter which one is on top and which was on the bottom. I tucked those 2 corners together, and I'm going to add a little glue. I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to add a little glue, and I'll push that down. And what that gets me is, it's a little easier to manage. So now it's like one piece, so it's a little easier. When I flip it over, now it's a little easier to add glue. And if you used adhesive sheets, that would certainly work. I tend to use glue. And I don't need glue on everything. I want to make sure I kind of get some of these edges, and I may have to go back and make sure that the edges are done. So if I lift it up again, it's a little easier because it's one piece, and that already has glue on it, but that's all right. So now I'm going to push it down right in the corner. Press that down. Take that off because this goes. So now it's kind of stuck. So you'll see on my other samples, not all the waves are down, but it gives a little, you know, it's a little 3D effect because the waves are like splashing all over the place. All right, so then I'm going to turn that over and just cut. And then if those are not tucked down, then I can fix that. So this card was done on very vanilla as a base. So you don't usually do white, or people don't do white on vanilla, but I kind of liked it. First I thought it was the new Lemon Lolly, and then I looked a little closer and looked it up, and it's, no, I don't want to do that. It was vanilla. So I could glue and put it down, but I actually like them when they are, I'm going to use dimensionals. You just put a little dab of glue, get that on there. There we go. All right. So I'm at the ends and pieces of my dimensionals here. should have enough to finish the card. All right. So I'm going to center that. All right, I just think that's sharp because you have the detail of the stamp, and then you get all these details of the fine lines of the waves, and then you get that ombre of that one. So it's a lot of dimension in there. So there are there are clouds that come with this set, and that's the clouds that they used on the sample, but I liked different clouds better. So these clouds are from Give It a Whirl die set. You get 3, and they're just more puffy and big and happy. The other ones were kind of stormy clouds. And so I'd used 3 on those 2, and I used 2 on that one. So it doesn't really matter. And what I did, you could even take your blending brush with the little blue on there. If you wanted to put a little blue on your clouds, you could do that. So you can kind of see them on that. I'm going to keep mine fluffy. So let's see, and I like to tuck them. You can either have them go all off your page. Maybe I'll do that on this one. Look, like that. Maybe I'll do that. So you can, let's see, I'm going to glue some down straight. I'll glue that one down straight. And I'm going to use dimensionals for some, right? Because clouds aren't always at the same level. I'm going to go right there. This one I'm going to put like that. There we go. And then, like I said, there were 2 label pieces, so this is one of them. The other one's a little bit bigger. I've already stamped the happy birthday. This is the new in color called Wild Wheat. So it actually kind of picked up a little of that gold of the original one. But I think it works really nicely with Night of Navy. So I think I'll put that right there. Look at, I have 2 dimensionals left. Maybe that's 3. All right, so then I'm going to put right there. So I'm going to have it go off a little bit because I have the clouds that go off like that. And on the inside, I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight again. And here it is. So this is from a different stamp set, but hope your day is filled with everything good. I just thought that was nice. Put that there. Right, it goes along with the birthday. And then in the stamp set, you get a little bird. So I'm going to stamp that. And these are really nice 2 words. So it's a nice set. It's a good, I don't want to say masculine set, but it is kind of a little bit more masculine. But anyone who likes the ocean. And then this is gray granite. There we go. So that is the card. Let me move these aside. You can kind of see they're all the same, but slightly different variations, especially with the clouds are all a little bit different. The shading. So let's see. These 2, the navy waves is on top of the ombre, and these 2, the ombre is on top of the navy. It doesn't matter, but they do have slightly different looks. They're kind of fun. It's certainly great for summer birthdays. So if you liked this video, let me know. Either write something in the comments or give me a big thumbs up, or share the video, or what else can you do? I don't know, somehow let me know. And then if you are not a mail list subscriber, you just visit my website, mailsomethingpretty.com, and you can sign up for my mail list. I send out emails every Tuesday, sometimes a little bit more depending on what's going on. And definitely be a subscriber of my YouTube video, and that way you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. So thanks so much. I am Christine Josti of Mail Something Pretty. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.